Welcome to the show. In this episode, we're going to dive into what's been sort of a hot topic on the news regarding the Prince of Pan-Africanism, self-proclaimed, and psychologist, Dr. Umar Johnson. But before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe and give us a like so we know what content you enjoy and we can bring you more of these similar topics. So, looking at this story of Dr. Umar building a school for 15 years under the name of legends like Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, people are starting to think that he's just a con. He keeps asking for donations, and the school is yet to be finished. In the latest news, he's come out to say that he has one bank account, which is hard to believe. And that account has been frozen. And he's asking for donations via Venmo and other online sources. Most of us are very aware that if there's fraudulent activity on your bank account, usually your bank notifies you via email or a phone call. At which point, when you reply to the bank that yes, this is fraudulent, it wasn't me, usually they close down your card and send you a new card. They don't necessarily freeze your account, i.e., what I'm saying is your bank doesn't stop you from accessing your own money once they're able to stop the bad actors. So let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at this from a different perspective, rather than just saying he's a crook, or somebody said online he's not the Prince of Pan-Africanism, as he calls himself, he's the Prince of Panhandling. So let's get right in. 2 paths to Black educational empowerment. A tale of promise and peril. The landscape of Black educational empowerment is being written in real time across 2 continents through 2 dramatically different stories that reveal the gap between a vision and execution, between dreams deferred and dreams delivered. Let's take a look at the crisis in Delaware. Interesting fact, most U.S. companies are incorporated in Delaware. Look it up. It's for tax reasons. Dr. Umar Johnson's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey FDMG Academy stands on the precipice of collapse. The self-proclaimed Prince of Pan-Africanism faces an August 25th deadline to save his Wilmington, Delaware campus from sheriff's auction due to unpaid fees and utilities. The irony is stark. A project designed to liberate Black boys from what Johnson calls miseducation may itself become a lesson in institutional failure. The self-proclaimed Ifatunde, or Ifatunde as he says it in his Black American accent, is an interesting character. For over a decade, Johnson has rallied supporters around his vision of a Pan-African educational institution. He positioned the academy as more than a school, but rather as a cornerstone of black independence and cultural pride. Yet today, with frozen bank accounts following alleged hacking attempts and mounting financial obligations, the project hangs by a thread. Johnson's response reveals both his strengths and weaknesses as a leader. He frames the crisis as evidence of systemic targeting, claiming the city escalated vacant property fees from $5,000 to $12,000 annually to force foreclosure. While his supporters see validation of his anti-establishment message, critics point to a pattern of financial opacity and management challenges that have plagued the project from its inception. Keep in mind, residents of Long Island, New York, pay over $12,000 a year in school taxes, whether you have children or not. So the question I have is, should Dr. Umar, a celebrity psychologist, be struggling to pay that fee? It's $1,000 a month. Maybe he needs more clients or patients to treat. The success in Ghana. Meanwhile, 5,000 miles away, a different story unfolds. And I'd like to put a disclaimer here that I'm actually working with Jimmy and his sister Vida to get more attention around this project of theirs, to hopefully be able to get some fundraising going and some media attention around the amazing work that they are doing. So full disclaimer, I'm working with them from a PR perspective. Let's take a look. Jimmy Kwanzaa and his sister Vida Selma Kumsum have quietly built something remarkable. Destiny Faith Christian International School, which has grown from a single village classroom to an educational powerhouse, serving 255 students in just 4 years. We've been waiting on Dr. Umar Johnson Ifatunde, whatever he wants to call himself, Pan-African Prince, school for over 10 years, with millions of dollars poured in. What's their secret? Their secret weapon isn't ideology, it's integration. Listen to this. 7-year-olds learn English while mastering hair braiding. Teenagers study mathematics while designing fashion and building furniture. Brilliant. This learn and earn model doesn't just educate, it creates immediate economic value for students and their families. Take notes, Dr. Umar. Take notes. Stop going on live. Take notes. The numbers tell the story. 255 students enrolled with hundreds on the waiting list. I'm not sure if there's a waiting list for this academy that Dr. Johnson's building. But in Ghana, they have 19 full-time local staff employed and multiple vocational tracks generating real income. Where Johnson's academy struggles with sustainability, the Ghana school has cracked the code on self-sufficiency. Stop going online and begging people for money. The contrast in approaches. The divergent paths of these two educational ventures illuminate fundamental questions about Black empowerment and institutional building. Vision versus execution. While Johnson's Pan-African rhetoric resonates powerfully, but grand visions require practical execution. The frozen accounts and mounting debts suggest a disconnect between aspirational messaging and operational competence. I'll say that again. His frozen accounts and mounting debt suggests a disconnect between aspirational messaging and operational competence. In contrast, the Ghana School's founders built steadily, focusing on sustainable growth over revolutionary rhetoric. Community engagement. Johnson positions himself as a leader, as a leading movement rally, right? Rallying supporters through crisis and controversy. The Ghana model embeds itself within existing community structures, hiring locally and creating immediate economic benefits that build organic support. Financial transparency. This is a huge one. The FDMG Academy's financial struggles raise questions about donor trust and accountability. Don't give this guy your $10 or $20 or $50 if you don't have it and you yourself are struggling. Don't do it. When supporters invest in a dream, they expect clear communication about how their money is used. The Ghana School's growth trajectory suggests a more transparent, trust-building approach to resource management. We haven't even done a GoFundMe, but the Ghana project is the one I will put my money in. Economic sustainability. Perhaps most tellingly, the Learn and Earn model addresses a critical flaw in many educational initiatives: sustainability. What do we mean by that? By teaching immediately marketable skills alongside academics, the Ghana School creates a pipeline of economic opportunity that supports both students and the institution itself. Wonderful stuff. I commend them. Hats off. A round of applause. Lessons for Black educational empowerment. These parallel stories offer sobering lessons for anyone committed to Black educational advancement. Start small, build smart. The Ghana School's 4-year journey from classroom to 255 student institution demonstrates the power of organic growth. Rather than announcing grand plans a la Umar Johnson, they built incrementally, proving concept before expanding. Economics always matter. Educational empowerment without economic empowerment is incomplete. The Learn and Earn model recognizes that families need immediate economic benefits to sustain long-term educational investment. Let's take a look at operations over oratory. Inspiring speeches can mobilize people, and Umar knows that very well. But institutional success requires mundane competencies. It's not about going on Facebook Live. It's not about going on Instagram stories. It's not about spewing Pan-Africanism and Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and Ifatunde and wearing dashikis and things of that nature. Financial management, regulatory compliance, and transparent communication. I'll say that again. Inspiring speeches can mobilize people, but institutional success requires mundane competencies: financial management, regulatory compliance, and transparent communication. Why? These unsexy skills often determine whether visionary projects survive their first crisis. To copy Dr. Umar, I'll say it 3 times. These unsexy skills often determine whether visionary projects survive their first crisis. These unsexy skills often determine whether visionary projects survive their first crisis. My brothers and sisters, as he likes to say, brothers and sisters, listen up. These unsexy skills often determine whether visionary projects survive their first crisis. Financial management, regulatory compliance, and transparent communication. Brothers and sisters, I'll say it again. Financial management, regulatory compliance, and transparent communication. Financial management, regulatory compliance, and transparent communication. To speak like Umar does in 3s. Accountability builds trust. Donors and communities invest in people they trust. Transparency about challenges, clear communication about resource use, and demonstrated results build the social capacity necessary for sustainable institutions. So, the broader context, let's take a look at it. Both stories unfold against a backdrop of persistent educational inequalities affecting Black communities globally. Johnson's frustration with American public education is legitimate. Achievement gaps, disciplinary disparities, and cultural disconnection plague many Black students. We agree. Similarly, though, the Ghana school addresses real educational deficits in rural communities, often overlooked by government resources. Bravo. So the question isn't whether these problems deserve attention. They absolutely do. The question is which approaches prove most effective at creating lasting change. So let's look forward. As Johnson faces its August 25th deadline, his supporters rally with protests and donations. Good luck to them. I'm not joining in. Whether the FDMG Academy survives this crisis may depend less on the passion of his rhetoric than on his ability to demonstrate the practical competencies that institutional success requires. Sometimes celebrities have no shame. Dr. Ifatunde Umar Johnson, whatever your name is, you don't have a second checking account? You don't have another savings account? You've got to go online to ask for people to Venmo you the little that they have with no shame. Meanwhile, the quiet success in Ghana offers a different model. That revolutionary change sometimes comes not through revolutionary methods, but through revolutionary results. So by teaching students to earn while they learn, the Kwanzaa Concern Partnership has created something radical in its own way. A sustainable path for education to economic empowerment. Let that sink in. I'll say it again. They've created something radical in its own way, a sustainable path from education to economic empowerment. Give them a round of applause. The fate of both institutions will be determined in the coming months, but their contrasting trajectories already offer valuable lessons about the difference between building movements and building institutions, and why Black educational empowerment may require both visionary leadership and exceptional execution. So, in closing, for communities watching these stories unfold, the message is clear. Dreams of educational liberation are worthy and necessary, but they must be grounded in the practical realities of financial management, community building, and sustainable growth. The future of Black education may depend not just on our ability to envision transformation, but on our commitment to the unglamorous work of making transformation real. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. As always, head over to buymeacoffee.com/SamsonKing to support us. We always appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe and like. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.